So what is social selling, Daniel?
So social selling, the first thing to say is what it's not, and it's not selling on social media. That's the big mistake that people make first of all. It's like, I'm going to go on LinkedIn and I'm going to go in and go, buy my stuff, look at my product, it's really great. It's actually just using social for networking and for building your contacts and for engaging with people and opening up the opportunity for selling. And I think that's the important differentiation. Mostly we're talking about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And mostly it's about being out there and having a process to go through and say, this is who I am. This is making me more discoverable. This is content. This is how I can help you. Here's some useful stuff, connecting to people and building that process. Because as we probably know, hard selling doesn't work. If I get a phone call, it says, hi, can I sell it? It's like, no, what year is this? Like the 80s? Stop it. This is really irritating. So it's trying to use the social networks for doing that in a structured and appropriate kind of way.
So how is SSI connected?
So your SSI score, I love this, it's your social selling index.
Right.
And it's a score out of 100 that comes from LinkedIn. So what you do is if you search SSI score and you're logged into LinkedIn, you can get it. And it will basically say, how well have you built your profile?
Right.
Are you sharing content? Are you engaging with other people's content? And are you connecting to other people? And it will give you a score out of 25 for each one, adds up to a score out of 100. Basically allows you to see how effective you're using LinkedIn. But also it will kind of give you the areas that you might need to improve. So I was very good at getting people connecting, talking to me, sharing my content. I wasn't really engaging with other people's content enough, being a bit selfish, basically. So it will help me to kind of improve that. I can also see what the average for my industry is. And I can go through and I can see what my average in my network is as well. So I might see, what Kieran's score is and things like that within my network and compare myself against that. And I can say, what's the quality of my network? And as I connect to more and more people, I'll be able to judge how do I balance against those people. But if you're using LinkedIn effectively, your score goes up.
Yeah.
Really.
So that's good for LinkedIn. I think there's some quite other cool tools that help you measure like other platforms. Like you showed me Upfluence.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing tool. Have you used Upfluence?
No, I haven't.
So what that does is you can go into, actually you can use it to measure yourself. You just go into your own channels on Twitter or on Facebook, wherever you're active. And you can click on the Upfluence button. It's like a plugin that you have for your browser. And what it'll do is it'll tell you all sorts of useful metrics on how much engagement you get. And it kind of gives you an overall score across all of your channels if it's found them all, or for specific channels if not. And then the other one actually is SparkToro have an amazing thing called Spark Score, which is really good for getting a measure of like how much engagement you get on Twitter.
The way I would always look at this is that we use some of those tools often for looking at influencers. Well, it's kind of trying to make myself an influencer.
Yeah.
And it's more often used in a business-to-business situation, but it's really about how can I leverage to engage with my audience? And I would come back to the point to say you're 12 times more likely to engage with an individual than you are a brand. So therefore, having people across our organization acting as these ambassadors and use of social selling to do that is a really effective way of kind of doing it.
So how can we go about building a plan for social selling?
The key to this is structure, because it's really easy to go in, do a bit of this, bit of that, do some posting, get some content, and it's not really going to be effective. So I want to plan out how much of my time am I going to be looking for people to connect to. Now, bear in mind, you should only really connect to people if you have some reason to connect to them. So who do I meet at that conference, that event? Who do I engage with in that forum, whatever it might be? Then how much time am I going to spend creating and publishing content? How much time am I going to spend engaging with other people's content? How much time am I going to start having one-to-one conversations and just putting this time into my week and building a social selling plan? And what you'll see is, yes, your SSI score will go up and your engagement will go up and your reach will go up, but actually you're building a network. And I think that's the most important thing about social selling is considering the fact what you're doing is you're engaging with humans and you're trying to build your network and build your engagement. And that's what leads to sales, that human connection, not blasting sales across social media.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more videos like this and visit targetinternet.com for more free digital marketing resources.